Good morning and good evening, friends. Welcome to GoOnlineTrainings.com. Yesterday, we spoken about very basic and general things about ADF, but we did not talk about ADF yesterday in the first class, only general things, what to learn and who can come into IT industry, what are the prerequisites to learn ADF. All these things I discussed in yesterday's class. The prerequisite is you have to know SQL knowledge is required. But if the question is that if you learn only ADF and SQL, do you get a job in IT industry? Means no. The answer is no, because you have to learn a lot of other skills to get into IT industry. Only SQL Server, only ADF is not sufficient, right? So why also I have explained yesterday, because only ETL and SQL knowledge is not sufficient to perform a lot of work in the or data engineering work in the offices. So you need to learn much more things. So what are the things you must learn, that I have clearly told in the yesterday's class, and you can watch that class. If you miss that class, write me email bhaskarjogi@gmail.com so that you will be able to get yesterday's class video. And people who are joining today, so compulsorily they have to fill this form, and this form I'm going to be giving it to you right away. And this form already, if you have filled it, ignore it. If you first time means, definitely you have to fill this form. I'm just giving this form in the chat window. Rajan and others, please fill this form. This form will have only three pieces of information. So one is that your email address, full name with surname, and a mobile number. So when you fill this form, one is that you will be able to get the discounted price on the course fee, and daily recorded videos also will be given to you. Clear? So whatever be the reason, if you're not able to fill the form, you can also send me email so that I will send the form. You can fill it up. Okay? So that is what is required. So today is the last demo on on ADF. So today is completely technical things that we're going to be talking about. So the first question is that anybody can learn this tool, but only ADF and SQL is not enough. You need to learn much more things if you wanted to get into IT industry. So what are the tools you have to learn? That information already been given in the demo number 1. Please watch that video without fail, guys. So if you need that video, write me a mail or call these numbers. They will be able to give you or support you with that information. Yeah. So today we are going to be talking about, the first thing is that what is a on-premise and what is a cloud. Why many people, many companies are slowly moving to the cloud. First of all, we need to understand why cloud is, becoming more and more, important thing in the world. Clear? Let us understand what is on-premises first. On premises means, I wanted to give you simple example so that you will be able to understand. Then we will also discuss about cloud or cloud computing. I wanted to buy one car. I wanted to buy one car. For example, I wanted to buy a Ford car. So what is that I need to have? I need to have large amount of money I need to have. So more money is needed, or currency is needed. And if you wanted to, after buying a car, you have to maintain the car, right? You need to have the driver. If you know the driving, that is fine. If you don't know the driving, definitely you have to hire the driver. You have to pay more and more salaries to him. That is second thing. So more salaries you have to pay. And so not only that, what about the maintenance of the car? So if you meet with an accident, the complete denting work, painting work, or whatever be the the charges for the complete maintenance, that you need to pay. What about fuel charges? What about insurance for the car? So it is a completely too much of a burden, and you have to take the risk. You have to take the risk. So this is what is called on premises, means your own car you're going to be maintaining. Instead of maintaining your own car, you can also go and book a car in the Ola, or you can also get a car in the Uber, right? So we have online, Ola or online Uber companies are available. Cloud means online. So cloud means what? Cloud means online, or you can say web, or you can say it is internet based. Clear? So cloud means what? Cloud means online, web, internet based. So without having, if you don't have much more money, also no problem. You can go to Ola or Uber, apps. You will be able to book any cab that you wanted to book it. Now, what are the advantages now? You need not have the more money. You can have only less money or reduced cost, I can say. So when you go in for a Ola or Uber cab, the first thing is that reduced cost and less budget, reduced cost. And what about the maintenance? If there is a repair for the car or if there is a accident, you're not going to be doing any repair work for the Ola car or the Uber car. So what is going to be happening? You're only paying based on the usage. If something goes wrong, if the car is down or the cab is down, you're not going to be taking care of that, and you're not going to be paying any salary for the drivers, right? So it is completely cost effective, less budget, reduced cost, or less maintenance, no downtime at all. So if there is a problem with one car, immediately the company is going to be giving you one more car, right? The company can give you one more car. If one driver is saying that I cannot take this travel, immediately Ola or Uber is going to be arranging one more driver immediately. So no downtime. That means what? High availability. High availability means you will be able to get the very very good services without paying extra amount, without taking care of anything else. And because of that, cloud becomes so popular. Cloud means, in simple words, rental platform. Cloud means what? Rental platform. On premises means what? On premises means your own platform. For example, you're buying own car and taking a car for rental, which will be very very cost effective, definitely. Instead of maintaining, instead of having own car, you can also buy the rental car. Rental car is always cheaper and less cost, less budget, reduced cost. Always it is available to you, and no risk, no maintenance, everything is perfect. If that is the case, why people are going to be buying more and more cars? The same thing happens to the IT industry also. ICICI Bank wanted to maintain its data, or ICICI wanted to maintain its software. The first thing is that they have to buy a lot of software, a lot of hardware, a lot of machines they need to buy. To equip the machines, they need to have a lot of premises, they need to take it for the rental. So you need to have the premises. So not only hardware, again you need to buy the infrastructure like networking, routers and power supply, generator, backups, everything you need to have it. After that, you have to recruit the people. ICICI Bank, if they wanted to maintain software, they have to buy the hardware, they have to buy the software, they have to have the rental premises, they need to have the power backups, they need to have the maintenance, the networking teams, and they need to recruit lot of different people like software guys, hardware guys, networking guys. And not only this, you need to have on premises maintenance guys, power backup guys. So it is a big burden to the companies. They wanted to concentrate on their business. They don't want to concentrate on this kind of these things. Clear? So instead of buying your own hardware and buying your own software and maintaining it, you should be able to go and get the rental hardware, rental software. Clear? So there are a lot of companies like AWS. There are a lot of, however we have Ola, however we have Uber. So the companies are going to be into the online platform or the cloud platform, where you will be able to book or take a cab for the rental with less budget and with no risk at all. So like that, we have a lot of companies who's going to be giving you servers for rental, hardware for rental, software for rental. So those companies are called as cloud companies. The first company is Amazon Web Services. This is the company They started worldwide. Amazon Web Services, these people are going to be giving you, if you need any hardware, any software, that can be given for the rental. So that is the meaning of a cloud. Cloud means what? Cloud means online. Cloud means online. Cloud means web. Cloud means internet based. I don't want to buy own server, own hardware, own software. I don't want to maintain. It will be big, burden onto, on me. So I wanted to, have the rental hardware, rental software. So you have a lot of companies in the market. One of the companies called Amazon Web Services, and which is the number one company in the cloud platform, where you can get any kind of a services on rental basis from this platform. On the Microsoft side, we have a, brand called Azure. So Azure has a 200 plus cloud services. Whatever you wanted to have for the rental, you have to make every month some subscription amount. The, charges you need to pay based on your usage, based on your data. So you need not maintain the hardware, you need not maintain the software, you need not install anything, you need not have nothing. Only thing is that you have to go to Azure, or you need to go to AWS. You need to take the rental platform. You have to pay based on the use. So if you wanted to use, you wanted to keep this much of a data, and 1,000 people are going to be using this data. Based on this calculation, the Azure is going to be giving you the, subscription bill. So monthly, yearly, you have to pay the amount. It will be completely, less budget and reduced cost. Maintenance and everything will be taken care by these companies. Amazon company will take care about this cloud. Azure means Microsoft is going to be taking care of this cloud. Okay, so we have a lot of services in that. One of the services called ADF. One of the services called Azure, Data Factory. So Azure is a collection of services. You can get lot of services, not only one ADF. So whatever you wanted to have it for rental, that can be given. So you need to pay based on the usage. Clear? So it will be cheaper. You need not buy hardware, you need not buy the software, you need not do anything. Simply you need to have one laptop, and you can have internet connectivity. You can take anything from the Azure platform or AWS platform. You should be able to use, and only rental amount, subscription amount, that you have to pay. So that is what is the benefit. So many companies are moving slowly from on premises. On premises means, instead of having my own car, I wanted to have my rental car. So many companies are slowly migrating their data, migrating their applications from on premises to cloud. That is the need for the cloud. Hope you're able to understand. So you tell me, instead of maintaining your own car, if you wanted to travel, so only that is not only the option, right? You can also go and, book a train or a cab in the any website, or any, Ola application, or in the Uber application. So if you pay some 200 rupees or 300 rupees in India, you can easily travel some 5 to 10 kilometers, right? So 300 400 rupees, minimum 500 rupees, you can easily travel. Everything will be taken care by the Uber company or Ola company. Clear? So like that, I don't want to maintain, I don't want to buy hardware, I don't want to, install the software. If you wanted to install the software, again you need to buy the software licenses are too costly. Again, every 1 year, every 2 years, you have to purchase the new versions, right? SQL Server 2017 was there, then it got released, then you got SQL Server 2019, Windows 10 was there, now it is Windows 11, Windows, 15 server was there, then you have Windows 2020 server. Like that, software will be upgrading every time, and hardware also will be absolute every once in 5 years or once in 10 years. You have to keep on changing the servers, and you need to keep on recruiting the people to maintain the hardware, software for your company. Instead of you maintain, why can't you hire the all software and hardware, so that you will be able to pay less, and these companies are going to be maintaining complete software, hardware on its own. Amazon company, where you will get lot of services. You can go and place your data, and all the data which you are placing, will be maintained by this company. If you wanted to choose Azure, you can also go to Microsoft. You can, have a subscription every month based on the usage. You will be able to pay the amount. Otherwise, everything will be taken care by the companies itself. High availability is one, one plus point. No downtime will be there. Less maintenance. You need not worry about anything, and reduced cost and less budget, and data will be replicated and stored in many locations in data centers. Because if you maintain one copy of data, that is not enough. Think about Citibank or ICICIbank.com. They are maintaining completed data. Whenever you do any account opening, or whenever you do cash withdrawal, cash deposit, they have to maintain your data. The Citibank wanted to maintain your data. Now if they maintain the data, let us say in Delhi, or let us say in Dubai, let us say in Australia, if there is a earthquake, or if there is a flood, or if there is a fire accident, the complete servers are burnt, you are going to be losing the data. If you lose the data, because companies, the wealth is the data. So what is the wealth for the company? So wealth for the company is the data. If the company lost its data, then it is gone. So completely, they are not dependent on one piece of data. So every company will have to maintain 3 to 4 companies of data. Again, you have to maintain one copy of data in India, one more copy of data in New Zealand, one more copy of data in Dubai, one more copy of data in somewhere in Singapore. Like that, every company is going to be maintaining 4 copies of data in the case of on-premises. Now, because it is your data, your software, your hardware, everything has to be maintained by you only. Your car, you have to maintain each and everything, right? But tomorrow when you take a rental hardware and rental software, who's going to be maintaining data replication and everything? It is not you. AWS and Azure, these companies are going to be taking care of your data. So if there is a problem in one data center, so automatically you will be able to get the data from the second data center. That is always taken care by the bigger companies like AWS and Azure, and one more company called GCP, Google Cloud Platform. These are the bigger companies now dealing with the cloud. Cloud means what? Cloud means rental hardware shops, rental software shops. Whatever you wanted to have, they are going to be giving it to you. You need not worry about anything. Everything will be maintained by those companies. You need not maintain the data. Your data will be maintained by them. So it is easy, right? For example, you have lot of gold in your home. So maintaining the gold is difficulty for you, right? So what normally we do? We take the gold, we go to the bank lockers, we put it there. So whose risk is now? Now banker is going to be maintaining your wealth. Wealth is called gold. And if you pay at least per annum 10,000 rupees or 15,000 rupees, everything will be taken care by the banker. So otherwise, if you're keeping a gold at your home, means you need to hire security, you need to hire power, you need to have CC cameras, and somebody has to monitor. It is a big headache for you, right? So taking care of all these things will be big headache. So you will be able to take your gold. Gold is means your data. So data, every company will have data. The data, instead of you maintaining your own data, you are going to be putting your data into the instead of on premises means your own servers. Clear? Own hardware, own software. From that machines, you are going to be moving the data to the cloud. What is a cloud? Cloud means rental servers and rental platforms. Lot of companies are there who can offer you when a very cheaper prices or less expenses. Based on the usage only, you need to pay the monthly charges to these companies, and it is very cheaper and high available, no downtime, less maintenance, reduced cost. Because of these positive points, many companies are slowly moving from on premises to cloud platform. Clear? Whatever you wanted to have in the cloud. For example, I need to have a one machine with Java. You can hire it in the AWS. Or I wanted to have a one hardware, one computer with that .NET to be installed, or Oracle to be installed, or whatever your specifications, you will be able to tell them, and they will be able to give you one machine. And the machines also available across the world. You can choose. I wanted to have the machine from South India. I wanted to have one machine from North India, or I wanted to have one machine from New Zealand. So based on the location also, you will be able to get one machine for rental, and based on your data, based on your CPU usage, you have to make that subscription amount you need to pay based on the usage. That is the advantage. So many companies are using cloud platform nowadays because of more advantages than the maintaining on premises servers, on premises hardwares. Clear? So many companies are moving their data and removing their setups automatically. You will sell your own car. What you do? Whenever you need a car, you are going to be booking a car in the rental platform like Ola or Uber. So what is the advantage? If you sell your car, you will get minimum 5 lakh, 10 to 5 to 10 lakhs you will get it. That you can use it for something else. So instead of maintaining 100 cars, and it is of no use, and it is more risk for you, right? So many companies also moving from on premises to cloud. That is the need for the cloud. Clear? So now, so what is a ADF? ADF is one of the service, one of the application, right? One of the software you can say, which is going to be performing ETL operations. So extracting the data, transforming the data, and loading the data. So what is ETL? I'm going to be talking about it. And big data requires a service that can offer, ETL services. ADF extracts data from Azure Data Lake and blob storage. And big data means, unstructured data, large amount of data. I need to talk about a few more things here. Before that, let us talk about history, right? Amazon company started AWS, launched in 2006. So because of it is started earlier, it is ruling the complete IT industry. Many companies are hiring the servers and the softwares and hardwares from this company. AWS is rocking like anything. Clear? Then the second company who launched the cloud is GCP, that is Google Cloud Platform. Many companies also taking a lot of rental hardware and software from Google as well. The platform is called GCP. Amazon company's cloud platform is called AWS. And Microsoft is launched Azure. So it is launched in 1st February 2010. Now the first position is there with Amazon today, AWS. The second position is with Azure, Microsoft. Azure is ruling the you know entire market, but it is there in the second position. So more than 200 plus services in Azure. So you can do lot of things in the Azure, not only one. You can store the data, you can manage the data, you can perform ETL operation, you can compute the data, you can do lot of data management, you can perform IoT application, you can perform data analytics, you can perform data science, you can perform big data analytics. Lot of things you can do with the help of Microsoft Azure. Azure means a collection of services. So whatever you wanted to have it, I wanted to have a data analytics service that is available in Azure. I wanted to have ETL service, it is there in Azure. I wanted to perform big data service, it is there in Azure. I wanted to perform data science application, it is there in Azure. I wanted to perform IoT, Internet of Things, it is there in Azure. I wanted to perform artificial intelligence, or I wanted to perform machine learning. Everything is available in the Azure. I wanted to have Java support. I wanted to have a .NET. I wanted to have development. Whatever you wanted to have. I wanted to have a database management system. I would like to have data warehousing system. Whatever you wanted to have, everything is available in Azure. So Azure is a collection of frameworks or a collection of services. Whatever you wanted to have, you can hire that service, you can use as per your need and pay as per your usage. So it is not only ADF. ADF is one of the service where it is going to be performing ETL operations. Am I clear? So that is what you need to understand. So more than 200 plus services in Azure. We will discuss only on ETL, and that is ADF service we are going to be discussing, and we are not going to discuss remaining services available on this platform. So no scripting is needed for Azure. If you wanted to have a scripting PowerShell is optional. If you wanted to write a script, so we can develop using UA. So if you wanted to develop a ADF application, you can use UA. UA means a drag and drop. You need not write any coding. You can use UA, or you can also go in for PowerShell. You can also go in for PowerShell. You need to learn this command, and you should be able to perform these operations with the help of PowerShell as well. You can develop complete ETL operations in ADF writing this coding. But definitely, I don't want to write the code. I don't want to, go into, coding and everything. Or if you are, good at a .NET, you can also perform .NET scriptings and all. So you can also develop ADF applications using a .NET. Right. So if you wanted to use the .NET is again, you need to know full stack development, you need to know coding and everything. Or you can also develop ADF applications with the help of a Python scripting. Clear? So you can also use a UAE, means a drag and drop software. People who do not know coding, people who do not know anything about coding, they can use a UAE. They will be able to create lot of ADF applications with the help of this. Or you can use a PowerShell. This is also one more, scripting language available. And with the help of this, you should be able to perform these operations. Or you can also write a .NET or a Python code. Whatever be the code that you wanted to write, you should be able to perform with the help of a, this one. So now let me tell you what is that it is going to be doing. What is the meaning of ETL? So people who do not know anything about ETL, let me tell you what is that it is going to be doing. So before that, I wanted to tell you AWS history. 2003 it got started, and slowly 2004, 6, 10, 11, 12, lot of history, and 2010 it got released. So services moved to AWS in 2010. 2006 I think it got launched. After that, lot of things have been changed. So this was the olden cloud platform, very very old cloud platform, AWS. It is launched in year 2006. Clear? So now I wanted to discuss what is ETL and why is that we need to use this ETL, and what are the other ETL tools are available. All of them I wanted to understand and I wanted to tell you. Now, first of all, so you have some data. For example, you take Amazon company. Amazon company has a lot of data. So lot of data. Where is the data of Amazon company? When you ask them, they have the data in different environments, or they have the data in different locations. They say that I have some data in US, I have some data in India, I have some data in Japan, I have some data in Dubai. So these are the places where the Amazon is doing business. Amazon wanted to, store the data in these premises. So US data, US sales data is available in US. India sales data is available in India. Japan sales data is Japan, available in Japan, like that. And if you ask them, okay, where is your data, means they're talking about the data of the Amazon company is not available in a single place. Now, what are the challenges I'm talking about? I'm talking about every company will have a data, that is fine. But what are the challenges of the data? Because if you wanted to do anything, if you wanted to create a report, or if you wanted to perform lot of data analytics, or tomorrow you wanted to run some application, or if you wanted to do some data science application, first of all you need to have the data. So if you take one company called Amazon, and if you ask them where is your data, they say that we have the business all over the world, and we have the data not in a single place. The data is available in different places. Clear? If you wanted to take their data, and if you wanted to perform some analysis on their data, why the companies wanted to analyze their data? Because they wanted to know how the sales is happening, how how Apple iPhone is, sales is going on in India, or how Sony, Bravia TV sales in India, how Samsung TVs, sales in India. They wanted to, know these kind of things. So for that, they have to gather the data from different places, and they have to keep the data in a single premises. But the question is that Amazon company is a single company, but they have the data not only in a single place, they have the data in different environments. Clear? So they may have the data in different systems, Windows environment, some of the data in Linux environment, some of the data is available in on-premises servers, like you may have SQL Server or you may have Excel sheets. All these are on-premises, or some of the data is also available in the cloud platforms. Clear? So the environments they are using, some of the data, the Amazon company is maintaining their own servers. Apart from that, they are also maintaining a lot of data. They have also stored in the cloud platform. Cloud platform means, I told you, we have Azure, we have AWS, we have Google Cloud. So GCP, we have many cloud platform like that. So some of the data is stored like that. And there is one more issue called size, and some of the places the data is in the small size, maybe in megabytes of size every month they are getting, and some places they may be getting every month, medium level of data could be, gigabytes of data. In some cases the company is getting, large amount of data from different areas. So if you think about a data of a single company, we are saying the data is not available in a single location of a single company. I'm talking about the data is available in different environment. The environment could be on premises, or the environment could be cloud platform. Cloud means they have the data in different GCP or Azure or AWS, and they have the data could be small size data, maybe in GBs of data, maybe in terabytes of data, petabyte of data, zettabyte of data. They have large amount of data the company is getting every month. Clear? And what about the accuracy of the data? Accuracy means how, clean the data. So sometimes you will have the data, but it is not very cleaned data. You have lot of duplicated data. Lot of data is, came up with spelling mistake, misspelled data. Lot of data duplicated, lot of blank values are available. So sometimes you're getting data with low accuracy or medium level accuracy, or you have the data with the high accuracy of the data. Clear? So if you wanted to get the data, it is not available in a ready to eat format or ready to use format. The data is available from in the company in different locations at different environments, different sizes at different accuracy levels. Like that, you have a lot of data challenges. Clear? So if you wanted to, the company wanted to understand what was my sales last 5 years, or what was my sales last 10 years, or what was my sales last 15 years. They wanted to understand the complete business last 10 years of data, last 5 years of data. The biggest problem is that they don't have any centralized place. They don't have the data in a single place, so that they will not be able to analyze the data properly. So first thing is that you have to get the data from different locations. You have to get the data from different environments. You have to get the data from different sizes. You have to get the data from different accuracy levels. And if you have the accuracy is not so cleaned data, low level accuracy means not so cleaned data. If the data itself is not cleaned, and if you use the data and if you use it tomorrow, whatever goes in is wrong, comes out will be wrong. If you take the wrong data, you will be able to get wrong output. Am I clear? It is your duty that you have to clean the data, get the data, and you have to completely centralize the data. Clear? So in this case, what we are going to be using, we are going to be getting the data from different places. Clear? So what are the places I'm talking about? You may get the data from the SQL. You may get the data from cloud machines. you will be able to get the data from SQL, you will be able to get the data from Excel, or you will be able to get the data from .NET Java servers, clear, or you will be able to get the data from the cloud machines, or you may be able to get the data from the local on-premises servers. So you assume that these are on-premises data, clear. So these are called on-prem data. You are maintaining your own servers, own hardware, and own software. You will be able to maintain your data. That is what is called on-premises data, clear. And these days, since cloud is started recently, last 10 years, we are able to keep a lot of data in the cloud platforms. You may have cloud Azure, you may have some data here, and you may have some data in the AWS as well. So these are called what platforms? Cloud platforms, clear. But all this data belong to which company? All this data belong to uh, Amazon company. So all the data, first of all, I wanted to take it from these machines. Clear? You have on-premises servers, you have a cloud machines. From there, you wanted to get the data. Now, you have to use the ETL software to extract the data from different machines. Clear? If you wanted to extract the data from the on-premises databases. So earlier, in 2005, we were using a ETL software called, so we were using ETL software called SSIS software. Clear? I wanted to get the data from different locations. Clear? But normally, if you wanted to get the data from on premises means I have a one hardware, I bought it, I have installed the software, I am maintaining the SQL or Oracle machine in my premises. I have stored completely my business data. What is my business? GoOnlineTrainings.com data is available in my own machine. I am maintaining the server. So all the data is available in this machine. It is on premises. Clear? If the company is growing and because of less maintenance, no cost, I can also move lot of the data to the cloud platform. So your data may not be guaranteed that it will be there with SQL always, with the only on premises always or on cloud always. Clear? It can be on premises or on cloud or miss and match, right? So if you wanted to take the data from the on premises, earlier we were using what is called as SSIS software. SSIS is going to be extracting the data from here, transforming the data and loading the data to the destination. You will be able to have one server. You will be able to create one more on-premises server. You take one server, it could be some SQL server or some hardware or some data warehousing server, some server you will have. This server is called as a staging server. This server is called as a staging server. Staging means temporary. Staging means what? Temporary. All the data from the SQL and Excel, this is on premises. With the help of SSIS, you extract the data. Extraction means reading the data from the source machine and you transform the data. Transformation means change. I wanted to modify the data to increase the standards or to create some standards in it. I wanted to transform the data. We will talk about transformations and you will be able to load the data into the staging server. Staging where what you do, you are going to be maintaining data cleansing work. Clear? It is a temporary server. All the data will be going, all the data will be sitting into the temporary server where you are going to be cleaning the data. Data cleansing means you may remove the duplicates, merging the data, splitting the data, converting the data. Lot of things you do. You may convert the data. You may split the data. You may merge the data, right? So a lot of things you're going to be doing. So this is what is called data cleansing and data transformation services will be applied. So you will have a cleaned data. You will have uncleaned data coming from source and you're going to be cleaning in the staging server. Again, you're going to be using what is called as SSIS. right? You're going to be using SSIS here, and you are going to be performing what is called as again ETL operations. This data, after cleaning, you will be able to take this data, dumping into one more machine. That machine is called as a data warehousing machine. Clear? So this was the story earlier. So we have to get the data and get all on-premises data. We used to get it because this data belong to Amazon company. So this may be there in US, this may be there in Dubai. All this data belongs to a Amazon company. On-premises data I'm talking about. Clear? The cloud mean it can be anywhere, but all the data belongs to Amazon company. If you wanted to get completely on-premises data, so what is the better software? SSIS is the better software that you're going to be using and getting the data and dumping into where? Into the staging server. So what is this server? This is also a SQL or a database server only. Clear? You are going to be maintaining this server as a staging. Staging means temporary. You are going to be cleaning the data. After cleaning again all the data with the help of again, which software we're going to be using? With the help of again, we are going to be using a software called SSIS only. Again, you need to use one more time SSIS software. Clear? So SSIS software is a Microsoft ETL software and which is released along with the SQL Server. Am I clear? So what is SSIS? Which is SQL Server Integration Services. Let me give you some brief introduction about SSIS. So as I told you yesterday, if you wanted to come into IT industry means you have to know some SQL knowledge. Since we are learning Microsoft Azure, compulsorily you have to know SQL Server knowledge, or you can also have Oracle knowledge to learn ADF. Clear? So, but if you wanted to get into IT industry, you have to compulsory learn say SQL, because I stands for information. Information, if you wanted to derive, you have to have the data. If you wanted to store the data, manage the data, compulsory IT industry is going to be using a software called SQL software. So we are going to be compulsorily learning. What is the prerequisite to come into IT industry means compulsorily, you should know RDBMS or SQL knowledge. So what are the RDBMS softwares? Oracle, SQL Server, DB2, lot of RDBMS softwares were there. I discussed about these softwares in yesterday's class. Clear? So if you're thinking about RDBMS tool, this is given by Microsoft. Let us see the history. So Microsoft started SQL Server 1.0. It is released in 1989, and this is a completely RDBMS software or a tool. So later they have released a lot of versions. Then SQL Server. So then they have released SQL Server 3.0, then 5.0, then 7.0 version, then SQL Server 2000 version. Till this, SQL Server is a completely RDBMS software. RDBMS means Relational Database Management System. So you can think SQL Server is a go down where you can store large amount of data, and whenever you need, you can retrieve the data. It is just like a storage, right? You can say SQL Server is a tank or a bank. You can put the data, get the data. Oracle is also RDBMS, means put the data, get the data. All SQL RDBMS means you can assume these are the tanks or the bank. In the bank, what you do? You deposit the cash, you withdraw the cash. If you have a large amount of gold, you will be keeping into gold bank. If you have a large amount of data, you will be keeping into data bank. These are called databases. Data banks are called databases. So year 2000, it is a Microsoft RDBMS software, but afterwards it is released one more version called 2005. When it is released, then year 2005 it got released by Microsoft. It is RDBMS software. It is RDBMS software Plus, this is also having Microsoft Business Intelligence software is also got added in year 2005. In this, they have added SSIS, SSAS, and SSRS. These three tools got added in SQL Server. SQL Server is a RDBMS software earlier, but it was RDBMS software earlier, but today, 2005, almost 17 years back, so they have added Microsoft Business Intelligence. Business intelligence means data analytics. I wanted to store the data, but if I wanted to analyze the data, I wanted to perform a lot of data analytics. Definitely this software is not sufficient. We need to have a business intelligence software. Business intelligence means I'm talking about a data analytics, business intelligence, data analytics, business analytics, all of them are the synonyms. So you can analyze the data. To analyze the data, you have to have some more softwares are required. The industry wanted to have them. So Microsoft released these three software. This software is called as a ETL software, SSIS. So it is a ETL software, and after that this is analysis software, and the last one is called reporting software. The last software is called reporting software. So it is released in 2005. If you see, the cloud is introduced in 2010 or 6, right? So it is released in year 2005. It is a completely SS means SQL Server. SQL Server. It got released before cloud released. Clear? So SSIS is a ETL software extracting the data, transforming the data, loading the data. Then SSAS is an analysis software which is going to be processing the data, and SSRS is a reporting software. So more advanced software got released. This was the year 2005. Later you got lot of versions. 2008, then 2008 R2 release 2, then 2012, then 2014, then 2017. The current version is 2019. So we are going to be having SQL Server 2019. It is a completely RDBMS and MSBI software. Clear? The latest version is this, and you need to understand, you need to install this software. And SS stands for, what is SS stands for? SQL Server. When you install SQL Server 2019, you will be able to get RDBMS software plus this ETL software and analysis software, reporting software is also there. But this is going to be used to get the data. So SSIS has some limitations. Clear? What are the limitations? It can extract the data or get the data from the on-premises. Clear? On-premises data. So this is what is the big disadvantages of SSIS. If you have the data in the cloud platform, SSIS is a not good software. Clear? SSIS is a good software. As part of MSBI, it got released. If you wanted to get the data from on-premises to on-premises, you can use it. But the problem is that after the SSIS is released, it is released in 2005 actually. Clear? So after that, a lot of changes have been happened in the IT industry. Then in 2006 and 2010, so 2006, later in 2010, you got cloud. Cloud means AWS followed by Azure released. Clear? These are able to store the data into the cloud platform, and SSIS is not ready to work with this kind of a platforms. That is the biggest issue. But SSIS is very good ETL engine. It can get the data from one place and it can dump the data to the one more place. So SSIS is a data importing exporting software. It can dump the data from one place to another. So what is that you can understand? If somebody says ETL, you can say which is going to be extracting the data from here and dumping the data into this. You can assume ETL means pumping the data. For example, I wanted to show you something here. I have a motor pump. Do you know motor pumps or not? So you have motor pumps. This is a motor pump. This is a motor pump, right? Now all these are motor pumps. Now these motor pumps are called as what? These are called as ETL. Remember this. So, which can go to the data premises, you will have different sources, SQL, Excel, whatever, you have, it can go to the data, it can extract the data from here, and all the data can be loaded into the drum or the tank. Clear? So, you have a motor pump, right? This is a one company like that. We have SSIS is from Microsoft on premises, ETL software. Like that, we have Informatica. Informatica is one more company ETL software. It is also on-premises ETL software or data stage. Clear? So data stage is one more company ETL software, but all these softwares are called as on-premises, ETL software. That means what? Which can extract the data and which can take the data from the different on-premises, data sources, which can dump into a data warehousing or it can dump to one more place. So ETLs are nothing but your motor pump. You have a water in the borewell. How do you load the water into your drum? So you need to have a motor pump, right? So motor pump is a equipment that you need to give a connection to the source and destination. So switch on the motor, the water will go. But in between, if you think that water is not so clean, what you do? You are going to be dumping the water into one more drum. In this, you are going to be cleaning. You put the water into this drum, you are going to be cleaning. This is what is called a staging. Clear? So you get the water into this drum, you clean the water, you do reverse osmosis, you boil the water, you do lot of chlorination, lot of things you do, clean the water. Again from here to here, if you want it to go, again you need to connect a one more pump. Then the data will go to the next level. You have, this is one ETL, this is one ETL. You will have different ETL services. ETL means extracting the data, transforming the data, loading the data. So that is what you need to understand. Clear? So SSIS just like a one data pump. You can think like that. But what is the problem with this? It is going to be working with on premises and it was good, till 2005, 2010. Many companies were dealing with, on premises data sources only. That is the reason this was very popular. So till 2006, AWS launched and 2010 Azure launched. Last 10-12 years, many companies have migrated their services from on premises to the cloud. They have the data not in on premises clouds, on premises. Now the data is moved. So that is when Microsoft has to introduce in Azure itself. You have a lot of things in Azure itself. It is introduced Azure Data Factory. Clear? It got released in Azure itself. Azure released in year 2010. Clear? You have a version 1.0. Now version 2.0 is available. So Azure Data Factory is also ETL tool. You can say this is instead of SSIS, or along with SSIS, you can go in for ADF if you wanted to get the data from the cloud. So according to your diagram, if you wanted to read the data from here, so you can use the better, you can install, because 2010 onwards, many companies are storing the data in this. Now instead of using this ETL software, I can go in for ADF, Azure Data Factory, which is also ETL, but people are going to be calling this as a ELT software. Extracting the data, loading the data, then transforming the data. Clear? So all the data, if you wanted to clean, you will be able to have one staging. You can create one small database in the cloud itself. So you can have a cloud server where you can create one staging database. You can clean the data and everything, and the final data you should be able to move. So again, you are going to be using in between ETL. If you wanted to move the data from one place to another place, you need to have a motor in place. So you have to again move large amount of data coming, all the data you are going to be getting. Again, you are going to be using this as a ETL software or ELT software. And here what are we going to use? We are going to be using not the data warehousing. So more cloud applications are equipped with equipped with big data. Clear? So lot of data is called as a big data. For example, I am getting every month, let us say 200 GB of data I'm getting every month. So from this server and this server, on premises server, every month 200 GB means last 1 year data 200 into 200 GB into 12 months data is equivalent to 2.4 terabytes of data. So let me talk about 10 years of data into 10 years of data. It is completely 24 terabytes of data. Clear? If you have small data, if you have a terabytes of data, the better you will be able to store the data into the data warehousing. How the data warehouse is going to be created? It is going to be created with the help of SQL. Clear? What is a data warehouse? We will discuss later. But if I tell you what is a data warehouse in single, some simple manner. I wanted to take my laptop. What is my laptop? My laptop configuration is, this is my laptop configuration. I have 1 terabyte of hard disk, and my laptop is having uh, 8 GB of RAM, 1 terabyte of hard disk, and i5 processor. And I have installed SQL Server and everything in this. I have installed, this is my SQL Server. And in this SQL Server, I can store, what is the amount I can store? Maximum 1 terabyte of data, because the hard disk size is 1 terabyte. Clear? If I buy one laptop and install a SQL or Oracle software, it is going to be a Oracle software or SQL Server laptop. People will be calling this as. But I wanted to buy a bigger hardware, very bigger hardware. So I wanted to have 100 terabyte of hard disk, 500 GB of RAM, and at least 50 to 100 processes are running. In that machine, I am installing SQL Server software or Oracle software. So that machine is called as a data warehousing machine. That machine is called as a data warehousing machine. Data warehouse means large hardware, and software wise, same software you need to install. What software? SQL or RDBMS software you need to install. Clear? So what is the size of the data you can store? Data warehouse can store, terabytes of data. So, earlier to the, before the cloud comes, the cloud started coming in 2006 or later, right? So before that, we were having only data warehousing. Data warehousing concept got released in 1990s. Clear? If you have so much of a data, you get the data from the systems, you have to dump it here. So every month you are going to be dumping and dumping and dumping and dumping. So it will take a couple of years, 20, 30, 40 years to get the, the full, to get the, to get it overloaded. It will take minimum 20, 30 years, because every month you are putting 200 GB of data, 200 GB of data. It will take some time uh, to get the full, right? So what normally we do, data warehouse was sufficient at that time to store the large amount of data. So companies were getting only, terabytes of data. But later in 2005, 2000 and 2005 onwards, what is happened? Cloud is introduced, and large amount of social media is introduced. Facebook, Twitter, this one, that one, lot of automation came. Because of that, the data is much more in size. The data is in, not in the gigabytes of data. The sources itself is getting nowadays large amount of data. So terabyte of data, petabyte of data, zettabyte of data. This, size of the data, people used to get it. That data you will not be able to accommodate in the data warehousing. Clear? If you're not able to accommodate in the data warehouse, that is where, IT industry has to invent one more software called Big Data Hadoop. So there is a software called Big Data Hadoop where you can store large amount of data. So Hadoop is one of the solution. Big data means large amount of data. So many companies wanted to store petabyte of data, zettabyte of data, yottabyte of data, yola byte of data. Normal data warehousing applications cannot store the data because data warehousing is was created in 1990s to understand to store only terabytes of data. But the things have been changed after 2005 and 6. Cloud is introduced and later lot of application, lot of automation, internet speed is increased, everything is automated. The large amount of data is getting originated in the source server. So to keep the data in the drums, so the data warehouse you think as a drum, every drum is getting filled within 1 hour means it is very very difficult, right? You cannot buy the drums and drums. You cannot keep the data. Every time you're getting large amount of data. So that is when companies have to invent one more, so where you can store large amount of data. That kind of a software is called big data. Again, big data you can have on premises big data softwares, you can have cloud enabled big data. Cloud means what? Cloud means rental big data. In that server you can maintain, you can put large amount of data, or you can also buy bigger machines and you can also have a big data you can maintain. So big data can be available on premises or in cloud. Data warehouse is also available today on premises, on cloud. SQL is also available on premises, on cloud. Clear? So SQL means on premises. Azure SQL means on cloud. On cloud means rental SQL. So big data on cloud, that means what? Rental server. Big data on premises means you can need to buy the server and install the big data software. You can accommodate large amount of data. Clear? So your SSIS package was also not very good to load the data into the big data Hadoop. When you have a large amount of data, SSIS is also not ready to use it for this kind of environment. Clear? Again, so people have to invent. One is that I was getting the data from the cloud platform, and that too I'm able to get the large amount of terabytes of data, petabyte of data. That too I have to maintain the big data in my environment. Clear? If I wanted to work with the big data environment, definitely SSIS is not the very good thing to load the data from on premises to big data, or on premises to on premises, or on premises to data warehousing is good, but you will not be able to use the SSIS software. So to cloud or to cloud to big data may be in cloud or on premises. Or if you wanted to move the data from cloud to cloud, big data may be in cloud, because many companies are using big data not on premises, big data in the cloud. If you wanted to move the data, the better go in for ADF. Clear? So you have to get the large amount of data, and you are going to be loading the data, cleaning the data, and you are going to be transforming the data later. So what is ELT? What is ETL? I will explain later. But ADF is more suitable. It is also ETL software or ELT software to move the data. It is also a motor. You think like it is a motor. It is taking the data from one place and dumping the data to the one more place. But where, in which environment ADF is more suitable means cloud data if you wanted to take it, and if you wanted to move the data to the big data environments. Big data means it is more than terabytes of data, petabyte of data, zettabyte of data, petabyte of data. More data is into, it is completely files data. It is not in the databases. So more Excel files, binary files, image files, this kind of a data you will be having more and more. If you wanted to deal with this kind of a data, ADF is more suitable. ADF also can go to on premises. It can also go to on premises and get the data. You have to install separate integration runtime here. So it is not that ADF cannot go to SQL Server on premises, SQL Server cannot get the data. It can also get the data, but you need to install separate runtime and everything extra circus you need to do and to get the data and dump it to the cloud environment. But already we have SSIS. SSIS is more native, more on premises, which can take the data from the on premises and load into data warehouse, and it can also we can also call ADF can call SSIS. So you can also sometimes ADF also can call SSIS, and ADF also can go and get the data, but you need to do some extra time, extra softwares you need to install so that you will be able to get the data. So the moral of the story is both of them are SSIS and ADF, both of them are ETL tools, but the purpose is something different. It is ETL tool, it is ELT tool. That is one thing. If you want to get the data from on premises to the data warehousing, traditional data warehousing and everything, we can go in for SSIS. But if you wanted to deal with ADF, definitely, if you are getting the data from the cloud platform and you want to move it to the cloud, big data means it is again most of the time it will be cloud, right? If you want to move the data to the bigger servers, then that is where we are going to be using ADF. Clear? So what is ETL? Mean it is going to be extracting the data, transforming the data, loading the data. Once you load the data here, then afterwards, whatever you wanted to do, that you can do it. So ETL means it is a data importing, exporting softwares. Clear? So I told you in your blood also you have, importing, exporting device you have. What is that? Your heart. Heart is a ETL device in your in your body. What heart is going to be doing? It is pumping the blood from one place to another place. So ETL is going to be pumping. ETL is going to be pumping what? Data from one place to another place. It can be any place. It can be Excel file to cloud, cloud to Excel, on premises to cloud, cloud to cloud. Any data to any data you can send. There's no problem. We have these many solutions. Clear? SSIS is good for the on-premises kind of an environment. If you have it, you can go in for SSIS. But if you have a cloud environment and if you're dealing with more, large amount of data, like means big data, Hadoop, big data when you're dealing with, definitely ADF is good. So what is ADF means? Which is a cloud-based Azure technology, which is going to be used to extract the data, transform the data, load the data into the cloud platform. So you may move the data into the big data, or you may move the data to the Azure has a lot of data storage. You may have data lake or blob storage if you wanted to store the data. So all these things we'll discuss. You may use big data, or you may use Azure data lake, blob storage. All of them can be available. Big data you can use. Big data is a technology which is a storage, or you can use binary large object. Blob storage is also available, or data lake. Data lake for the big data storage only, right? I wanted to store large amount of data. Data warehouse will fail. When the data warehouse fails, data lake comes. Okay, when the data warehouse fails, data lake comes, right? For example, you wanted to have 5 buckets of water, you will buy a 5 buckets. But if you wanted to have some 10-20 buckets of water, will you be buying a bucket or will you be buying a drum? You will buy a drum. So the drum is called data warehouse. So these are called buckets. When the buckets are full, you are going to be putting the water into it, and the buckets are empty. Fresh water will come, fresh data will come. Fresh data will come. We go to Amazon.com, you buy the product. Fresh data will come after 3 months or after 1 year. This, buckets, these servers are full. Again, you take the data, you dump into it, and the servers are empty. Again, you keep on buying the products, keep on buying the products. This data, again, you're going to be taking and dumping, not manually dumping. You're going to be using ETL. So ETL is going to be taking the data from here, dumping the data and putting the data into the data warehouse. So when you have terabytes of data and on-premises data, ETL and data warehousing is going to come. But you are getting the data not in GBs, in origin itself, you are getting the terabytes of data, petabyte of data. You are not getting the water in the buckets. You are getting the water in the drums. So the origin itself is a large amount of 10 tankers of water, you got it. So can you take a drum and put the 10 tankers of water? The origin itself is a tanker. So you have 1,000, 2,000 liters of water. But earlier we were talking about the buckets. Bucket means 30, 40 liters of bucket, right? So when you have a large amount of data in the origin itself, I cannot have a smaller drum. I have to buy a reservoir, or I have to create a one small pond. So the small pond where I can pump large, large amount of tankers of water, right? So I will be able to get 1,000 tankers. I can get it. I can get, and I wanted to construct a swimming pool, or I wanted to construct a pond. Lake means very big, right? So this is a drum. So data lake means it will take thousands of tanker, liters of capacity. So big data means data lake. Data lake technology is a big data. It means it can accommodate a lot of thousands of data warehouses, because data warehouse is a single tanker or a single drum, you can think, right? But this is what is a data lake. Data lake means a big a river or a big pond. So if you wanted to construct a swimming pool, you need to have lot of water into that, right? So data lake is a big data concept, or you can have a blob storage, binary large object. So in Azure, you will be able to store the data in the blob or in the big data solution called data lake. Azure Data Lake ADL, we will be able to store the data. So ADF is good to deal with the big data, and Azure is good. ADF is good to deal with the data coming from the cloud. Am I clear? And definitely SSIS is, ADF is not the replacement for SSIS. Many companies are going to be still using SSIS. So you have to know SSIS knowledge, as well as the data warehousing knowledge, as well as the ADF knowledge. And if you have some data lake and big data, that is good. I am going to be covering some big data concepts also, not in depth, but I will tell you what is a big data. But data warehousing is going to be taught in depth. So you will be able to get data warehousing in depth. That is for free. You should not be worried at all. Clear? So in the next class, I'll show you how to create ADF, a subscription, and how to pump the data from one platform to one more platform. It could be cloud or it could be on premises. How to use ADF, and how can we move the data from this platform to this platform, we are going to be learning. So we will have demos on the ADF. Practically, you will be able to see a lot of demos. Okay, guys, so this is what is the ETL. ETL means motor pumps. That is what you need to understand. We will also understand blob storage and data lake. So data lake is a solution for big data. Large amount of data, if you wanted to store, data warehousing will fail. Clear? So all these things we're going to be understanding. Data engineering, data analytics. So data analytics, business intelligence means the same. Data science means different thing. And we will have completed data engineering concept. We will talk about data engineering in the later classes, guys. Chalo. So if you have any questions, I'm going to be taking now. So this is the final demo. So if you wanted to continue the classes, you have to make the payments, and the payment details and everything will be informed, by my team by tomorrow. If you wanted to enroll, you can enroll, and we are going to be continuing in the ADF classes, and we are going to be creating a free subscription. You need not install any software to work with ADF. You need to have one laptop, and you need to have internet connectivity. Nothing is needed. From tomorrow, we are going to be, starting the paid training. So the free classes got over. If you wanted to enroll, the fee details and everything, you can just, get them from my team. So don't ask me the fee details and everything now, because I will not be able to help you. So if you need the fee details, my team is going to be sending the fee details. This meeting ID also will change, right? People who made the payment, they will get the new meeting ID, and you can join in the paid courses. Clear? The schedules and everything will be informed, and you will get the new meeting ID. So for the payment details, everything will be sent in your mail ID. If you don't get any reply, you can call this number saying that you did not get the payment links for the ADF batch. You can ask them, you can call them tomorrow, not today, because today the office is already closed. So we are working 10 to 6. So you can call them after tomorrow 10 o'clock. And daily videos are going to be giving, and today's video also will be sent. And you can use this video, and slowly we are going to be discussing a lot of things we're going to be discussing. What is the data engineering, what is the data analytics, what is the data science, what is it, Hadoop, what is a big data, what is a data lake, what is the blob storage. Lot of things you're going to understand, so don't worry about it. As of now, you have to know ETL means data importing and exporting software. Data pumps are called ETL services. That is what you need to know. So to understand ADF, you have to know SQL Server. SQL Server knowledge is must. You need to buy videos. So the basic is not sufficient. You need to buy SQL videos from us and watch that videos. And parallelly, you have to join ADF and buy SQL Server videos and watch them. Right? I told you in the first class itself. You can also watch SQL Server videos. And this is the end of the ADF demos. If you have any questions, you can ask me, guys. Thank you.